Okay, we're live. You can get out of shot.
There's still no camera showing up on there.
Okay, give me a second. Everyone keeps.
We're good now. Thank you, John.
Describing it. And once you see describing, then you know all the roads
I'm not getting any volume.
Where's Mark? He's coming. He's coming. He said you could pull down this late. I'm gonna get another ticket.
I have it on. Okay, you gave me a pair of broken headphones. I need a new pair of headphones. Okay, it's not just me.
Okay, maybe that's what you were referring to.
Do you have any in your bag?
Yeah, there's some actually in my bag.
Is she on the list? Yeah, we that's okay. This year it held out our day.
Elvis is in the building. I just got a text that said you can hear loud and clear on YouTube.
Okay, good. Alright, so I do definitely have some broken headphones. Okay.
I'm not sure what that
My bad.
out of the head was. Steel, I think.
Okay. Alright, good. I got it.
You good?
Yep. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call the September Cypresswood Community Association meeting to order. Mr. Secretary, can you please take the roll?
Sure. Club patio. Here. Cypress Pond.
Here.
Eagle Pond condos.
Here.
Enclave.
Here.
Fairway patio.
Here.
Garden patio.
Here.
Golf villas. Greenfield Village.
Here.
Meadows.
Here.
Oak Grove.
Here.
Palmacia.
Here.
Plantations.
Here.
Sand Hill Lane.
Here.
Villas on the Green.
Hugh, are you here? He's on the phone. Hugh, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Say it now. Say you're here.
I'm here.
We're there. So are we.
All right, so we have 13 out of 14. Yes. Next slide, please, Savannah. This is tonight's meeting agenda that was distributed to all the presidents. I need a motion and approval for tonight's meeting agenda. Mr. Shires made a motion, Mr. Brett a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Also need a motion and a second for the August meeting minutes, please. Mr. Klutner has made such a motion. Dr. Palmer has made a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. The next part of the meeting is the resident comments. The first one on the list is Mr. Robert Dodd. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Dodd headed. Robert Pangborn. Come on.
I have a question of how does one get nominated to be on the
see Mr. Klutner or send me an email and I can give them. Sir, raise your hand, Mark. Okay.
I'll see you later.
The next one on the list is Holly Green. Okay. Is that about the nominating committee? Okay. Yes. Mr. Klutner is chairing the nominating committee, and you can either send an email to me, to your president, and I can get it to him, and then he will contact you. Probably to me is probably safer to me, and then we can have Mr. Klutner and his group talk to you. The last one on the list is Mr. Kevin Hallis. Come on down, Kevin, please. You can please. A little bit of delay. Sure, just stand in front of that guy.
Hey, I just have a question, and because I'm not here a lot and stuff, so I just want to know.
Put a little closer, Kevin.
Oh, sorry. I just want to know, is there going to be any homeowners assessment for the golf course for 2022?
You mean, so the amenities committee?
No, we have a homeowner association fee that we pay every year.
An assessment.
Is there going to be another assessment for the golf course this year, coming up 2022?
The assessment did not change for the amenities committee.
Okay, so is that money going to go to the golf course?
The proposed new money or the amenities?
Yeah, the proposed new money.
No, it's well, they'll talk about that, but it's scheduled on the general reserve fund.
General reserve.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the other thing I want to say is, it's great that you have these things where people can come up and talk, but I think people have more questions after the meeting's gone through their agenda. And so maybe these questions and that people have are after you guys all meet, and the secret meetings that go on beyond that we hear here. So I think maybe this Facebook thing should go on after you all meet. And you know what I'm saying? Like later on today in the meeting, when you guys are ready to adjourn, I think people have more questions, so maybe we should do this afterwards.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, that concludes the resident comments section. The committee reports, the first one is the Treasurer's Advisory Committee, Mr. Tucker. Next slide, Savannah. Oh, look at that. Oh my. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. There we go.
Good evening. Each president received a financial statement about 10 days ago for the end of August. Did you review that? Do you have questions about it? Okay. Then the real question for the evening is, what do we do with
Next slide,
the
please.
recommendation from the TAC committee? Shall I read it to you, or do you want to read it for yourself?
Read it.
Okay. We propose
Take your mask off, please.
We propose and recommend that the Cypresswood Community Association Board of Directors adopt the 2022 budget that includes the previously approved committee budgets: traffic control, landscape, road and drainage, and G&A, utilities amenities, which total $939,807.84, or $885.78 per assessed unit. And in addition, for the purpose of replenishing general reserves, which is necessary for unanticipated future emergency needs and can only be used upon approval of the CCA board, add to the 2022 budget an amount of $121,192.16, bringing the total 2022 budget to $1,061,061,000, or $1,000 per unit assessment. This would raise the total assessment per unit from $885 to $1,000 per unit. Is that clear? Any questions?
Do we have a motion to accept the committee's recommendation? Mr. Shire has made such a motion. Do we have a second? Mr. McCullough has made a second. This will be a roll call vote. The secretary will take such a vote. Please answer yes or no.
Okay. Club patio,
No, we feel it should be in excess of $300, because that's where we need to be, so no.
Cypress Pond,
Yes.
Eagle Pond condos,
Yes.
Enclave,
Yes.
Fairway patio, Garden patio,
No.
Golf villas, not here, sorry. Greenfield Village,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Oak Grove,
No.
Palmacia,
Yes.
Plantations,
Yes.
Sand Hill Lane,
Yes.
Villas on the Green, Hugh,
Yes.
Did everybody hear that? Bill's going to vote yes. Thank you, Hugh. Do you want to stay in the meeting or do you want to depart and watch it on YouTube?
10-4,
Okay, good night, thank you.
and 3 against, so the motion passes.
What was the final vote?
10-3.
The vote was 10-3, the motion passes, the assessment is adopted. Okay, next slide please, Savannah. Oh, keep going, next one. Landscape Committee, Mr. Wilson. And can you put the next slide up as well, please? Thank you. Is that what you want? That's what you wanted, correct?
Perfect.
All right.
Rick, take your mask off, please.
Thank you. First of all, I want to, I'm not going to start with that, but we'll just leave it up there. I'm going to get back to it in just a moment. We have identified 5 days worth of tree trimming. 3 of them are dedicated to the canopy on the boulevard all the way from the front entrance all the way back through Oak Grove. And we need to get that addressed. We have a lot of low-hanging branches that are interfering with trucks, and we need to get that done. We're asking for 3 days for that. We're also asking for 2 days, additional days, that will be involved here at the clubhouse area to help groom things for the event that's coming up in November, so that we've got the trees and everything will be looking good. I know the landscape will be looking good as Prime Care will be doing their job is to get everything set up. So what I'd like to ask is if Bob would propose to you that we have 5 days worth of tree work done. It's going to total $7,000. We have the budget to do that, and I would like to get that approved right now if possible.
Is there a motion to,
Question.
oh, question first?
Will Medlock be doing that?
Yeah, sorry.
Will Medlock be doing that?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, Medlock will be doing the work.
Yeah, okay.
So the total was, what was the total?
7,000.
$7,000 for 5 days of tree work for $7,000. Mr. Klutner has made the motion. Is there a second? I'll give it to Mr. Murphy this time. Any questions on the motion?
Yes, he said it was in the budget. So what's his budget that he's taking it from?
The landscape budget.
So how much is his landscape budget?
I didn't hear what you said.
How much is your landscape budget for tree trimming?
For tree trimming or for the whole budget?
Either one.
Either one. Let me get you a number.
This is what the citizens are asking for, is that you give numbers on the video so we can understand what's going on.
I'm not hearing what you're saying.
The budget's available on the website.
Yes, the budget was
Well,
approved. This
you
is
need
the
to put it out at the meeting too, sir.
So just tell me.
It's the 2021 budget, and we have approved for the year. I know to this date, we have the actual spent $10,000, and we have 21,000, I think it is, for the total. This will take it up to 17,000, so we have not exceeded our budget. We are still under our budget for the year for that.
$14,000 for the year, and we spent $10,000 of it.
Right. With this request.
Don't you think it looks nice right now as it is?
I don't know. I can't really.
Yes, don't you think it looks nice the way it looks now?
It looks nice, but we have issues that we have with the canopy that runs from the front to the back
Okay,
where
so that's 3
low-hanging
days.
branches.
What's the 2 days
Truck-
of trimming around the clubhouse?
It's the normal maintenance, right? It's the normal maintenance schedule.
What
Yeah,
isn't
it's
that
the
what
low-hanging
maintenance
branches. There
people
is a
do?
set canopy that we have for trucks and motor homes that go through here. We maintain that canopy at 18 feet
I
from front to
understand that.
back.
I'm asking right
That's what
around here
we're
at the
talking
clubhouse. You asked for 2 days of trimming at the clubhouse, but you have a company that takes care of it, correct?
No. No, Prime Care does. Prime Care and Medlock take care of the landscaping around the clubhouse.
Okay, so what needs trimming around it? It looks very nice here. I don't see a need to spend 2 days worth of trimming myself.
Okay, well, that's their decision.
I apologize.
I know you can't, it's okay. So you answered this question. Okay, we have a motion and a second.
They don't care what we all say. Absolutely don't.
Do we have, all those in favor? Opposed? It passes, thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Now let's look at this front entrance photograph that we have here. This is off of Google World, and it's a couple of years old, but it's want to update you as to what's going on at the front entrance, and so that you know what's happening, because I just met with the supervisor of the entire project last week, to go over the project. And what they asked me to do for approval from us to do, and they're telling us, is there's a palm tree right here, and from there out, they're going to take the curbing and all of that is going to go away. So that has been arranged. We have capped off the irrigation so that they don't destroy the irrigation that's in the area there. We're going to move forward with that. Not us. They are going to do it as soon as I think it was scheduled last week. I got a feeling they're about a week behind. But if you notice the work, they've already paved up to the right turn lane on the south side of 542. So they are getting close to getting this section prepared. What I wanted to show you is this. This red line right here on both sides is a sidewalk that's going to be installed in there that will be part of the road widening project. The blue lines that meet that is a crosswalk that's going to be installed in that area. So there's going to be a do not walk sign there, so it'll be coming across that area. The good news is, it doesn't affect the sign at all. So that's what we've been wondering what was going to happen. So what we have in the sign, the landscaping, it is all good and it's in place, and there will not be anything that will affect it with the construction that's going on there. So that is in place. What's going to be interesting, and by the way, they told me that this entire south side lane on Dundee Road will be paved and complete by the end of December. This side, that's going to open them up to do the north side that they're going through there. So that's why they want to get this done. What's going to be interesting is this. As you remember, there are no other entrances and exits in Cypresswood, so they're going to be going through here and taking all this out, putting the road work in, putting curbs in. They're going to be doing all of that, and we still have to be able to maintain 24 hours a day, 7 days a week traffic in and out of here. So it's going to be interesting, and I've given to Mark, because he's involved with roads, the name of the superintendent that's there. I think we should probably get a meeting with them to see what the plans are so that traffic control can also have a say in what, and understand what's going on, because it's going to get complicated and it's going to happen. It's going to be probably a 30 to 45 day time frame for that to happen. So we are following it. We are making sure that we have enough information to keep all of you aware so that we can make sure that the residents have, know what's going on. Yes, Mark?
Yeah, the only comment I'd like to add is, you know, we have a curb around that island now.
Yes.
So when they shorten the island up, they re-pour the curb in front of the, well, that Robolini palm goes out, so it's just behind the Robolini palm. They'll pick up from the existing curve and put a radius back in there again.
Exactly.
So that we don't incur any expense associated with that.
It's all gonna be done by them. So if you get it, to give you an idea, when you go out the exit, the exit side, where that palm tree is right now, hopefully you'll see it for another day or two, that is where the new curb is going to stop. Will be an arc so that well, my concern was, do we have any blockages for traffic control there? And we do not. So we were fortunate as to how we came out on this. So that is, that's all part of that. Wanted to also contact you, the last meeting, you asked me about the irrigation damage up in that area. It has been fixed. It has been identified with white stakes. You'll see it back there. I have emailed the construction company requesting that we get together to see what kind of contribution they can make to help us pay for the irrigation repairs that from the damage that the trucks and the equipment are in that area. So I'm waiting to hear back from them on that. So it's going to get interesting. So just patience is going to be the watchword at this point as to what we're doing. Last but not least, on the new sign, we are paid in full from the insurance company. It is completely covered. It's done. We're all set to go. Everything we did was within the budget that came for that which was $10,000. Yes.
Are they gonna relocate the palm that we're losing?
Hang on, I'm
Are they going to relocate?
so I can't hear what
Are
you're
they
saying.
going to relocate the palm trees that we're losing?
That palm that's there is it was a three palm Robolini. It's really in poor shape. One of them's already rotted off.
Okay.
To dig it up and relocate it wouldn't be worth it.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's already in its final stages,
Okay.
but that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. Thank you. Yes, John?
Maybe you could pass this along. I'm wondering why we have to go to the contractor and ask them if they would help with the cost of repairing the damages they did. That didn't quite make sense to me.
I can't answer that question. Maybe you can,
Well,
Mark?
the problem we have with that is we can't identify who exactly did the damage. Now, it could have been the road paving crew, or it could have been the utility companies that have all been relocating there. It could have been the gas company, the phone company, or somebody else. So we really don't have a definitive answer as to who did the damage. Because the road company really, in terms of the entrance, has not been in there very much. It's been the traffic control people, it's been the, you see the power line conduits there, the gas conduits there, the telephone conduits there. So I think the first step is approaching, as he did, the contractor, to see what he says, and if not, then we can always contact somebody from DOT.
Well, Mark, that damage was not just at the gatehouse. The damage went all the way up the boulevard.
Well, they had nothing to do with that.
Somebody damaged it. We had 4 people work 3 days to repair it.
Yeah, but I mean, periodically we go
Who
through
covers
that.
that cost?
That's different. We're talking about at the entrance, outside in the DOT.
Yeah, that's the DOT portion of it. The portion inside the community that you're referring to?
Where the pavers worked and then there was damage that had to be repaired.
Oh yeah, in terms, if we can identify what was done by the pavers, they'll reimburse us for that portion. We were just talking about the DOT portion.
No, I wasn't talking about the DOT.
Okay.
Have we already contacted the paver to let them know that we spent considerable funds?
They know that.
Yes, we identified it, and it's been turned over to road and drainage. They know the damage that was done.
Is there any question that they're accepting the responsibility for the damage they did?
You
We
have
don't
to
know
talk
if
to
they're
road
going
and
to accept it or
drainage.
not?
I'm not involved in road and drainage, I
Yeah,
don't
we
know.
don't,
It's
well, I
Mark and
can't
Bill.
say because they haven't definitively said they will accept it, but I don't anticipate any problem because they were very straightforward about it. So we haven't actually given them the number because they just completed the work, what, Friday?
Yes, exactly. The entire system was checked out last Friday from front to back, and the boulevard involved with the paving of the boulevard, and it's back 100%. It's already
So
been handled.
part of it is the routine repairs that occur every year. Part of it is the, damage that occurred because of the pavers, the paving company. And, we'll be, working with them.
Hey, Mark, I had one of my residents, have damage done to his lawn, and they completely fixed it, and he texted me, "Thank you very much."
Okay.
So they took care of it.
Yeah, we haven't had any problem with that, John, at all, with them accepting responsibility for it. There was a damaged fence in the Villas of the Green, they acknowledged that, I mean, there hasn't been any issue so far.
Did we get billed for all that work they did?
I'm sorry, did we gut it?
Did we get a bill for the work?
Yes,
There was
it's
a lot of
already
work
been
done.
already been submitted into road and drainage, and I have an amount for the front damage where the construction's going on, so we have everything set up. Now we just are going for payment. Yes, sir.
I've got a question. People signed up to talk, and now we got people that are talking and wasting our time. Why don't we just get back to business?
This is the board.
Let's get back to business.
Asking questions is wasting time.
Well, did you sign up?
I did.
Well, you asked your question.
So,
You had your
we just
time.
have to
Right now,
say,
that's it, we're
are
done.
you talking to them?
Yeah, because I want to get back to business.
Order, please. Next slide, please. Traffic control, Mr. Reese.
How's that? First of all, thank you to the presidents that responded to the email request for funding approval for the upgrade to the video system at the gate. That has gone really well, and it's my understanding that Jeff is up there right now with the gentleman from Heartline to get all of the ins and outs of the new system. So as of right now, it's probably not fully operational, but as of in the morning, it should be. And this was the camera that was going to capture all resident vehicles coming in, so it would be a tag reader. This is in response to the issue that we had of a vehicle sideswiping a law enforcement vehicle on Dundee Road and coming in through the resident lane. So that's the big news. I also had one of the presidents question me about whether or not the current video equipment that we have and the systems that we have, if at some point we are able to upgrade our gate entry and do away with the gate clickers that have been here since the Korean War. Yes, all of the video equipment will be here. It will still be fully operational. And I wanted to share with you presidents and with you residents that are here a little bit of homework that was done about a year and a half ago. The initial bid that I have from someone that does the RFID entry systems, which is basically a proximity reader, and call it a barcode, call it whatever you want to, that's either attached to a headlight or your windshield. The expense for that a couple of years ago was right at $38,000. So that is something that would be great for us to have that. That would then cut down on anybody who has ever had a clicker gaining access through the resident lane, but it's not cheap. So as we progress down this adventure of being responsible for our amenities, the roads, landscaping, keep in mind that the guys at the gate, that is something that is on our wish list as well. Questions to the board? Mike?
Rick, do we have any idea as to how many clickers are really out there
Only being used by non-residents?
I do not. I mean, it's one of those things that, yes, you're supposed to contact the pro shop, I believe, and purchase your clicker.
They do that, it's on the backside that we don't have any.
Right. It's a multi-code clicker, which means, hello, Amazon delivery.
Yep.
And it happens even in the best of unregulated families. So. Yes, ma'am.
What company are you looking at for that scanner business? Is that your brother's or something?
Thank you, Lisa, for that question. And no, matter of fact, it is not, because my brother wouldn't charge that much. Yeah. It is Gate Tech out of Plant City, well respected. That's all I have. John?
I understand there was a situation a few nights ago where one of the people working at the gate was cursed out in an unmerciful and vulgar fashion. I was wondering, just because he asked someone for their driver's license because they had no decal, and we have a sign that says that all drivers will show a picture ID or a driver, doesn't say driver's license. For some reason the sign stayed away from that, but nonetheless, it does say all drivers will show a picture ID. And when they don't have one, I assume they're not going to be let in, but we know of several cases where people not only did not have a picture ID, they didn't have a driver's license, but they were allowed to drive in. And one of the problems I have with that is I don't know, first of all, why we didn't say on the sign, if you have a decal, then you don't have to stop and show your driver's license, instead of saying picture ID. And it doesn't say anything about the decal actually on the sign coming in. It just says all drivers. Well, a driver's a driver. And oh, I know now. I remember the people working at the gate were totally use their discretion. Use your discretion. We've got people working at the gate who are using their discretion to allow people to drive into our community without a driver's license or
okay, let me respond to that before you get so far down the road and throw all these other things in that I get confused on what your question was. First and foremost, our gate staff is not law enforcement. If someone comes to that gate and they don't have a driver's license, that is not our job. We are not the police to call them in and say, you shouldn't be driving, you don't have a license.
I never said that.
Yes, you did.
I didn't say they should
all right,
come and say
so here's the deal,
driving
John.
Without a license. I said we should let people come into our
Thank you. I've got the microphone. Give me a second. In relation to the incident that you're alleging took place, I spoke with our supervisor about that. What I was told is the individual didn't have a driver's license, but had a pass that had been issued by gate staff. In regard to your desire to have different verbiage on the signage, I believe that was something that ultimately had you resign from our committee because you didn't like what we said. I think all of our residents that have a decal on their windshield, they have never been asked to show a photo ID when they're coming through that non-resident lane. It's always been that way. Okay? If you have a decal, you are not asked for a photo ID when you come through the non-resident lane. What time of day or night?
Once during mid-afternoon and one time it was in the morning.
Didn't they have a decal?
And you have a decal on your car?
Yes, sir.
Okay? If you would, Lord willing that it doesn't happen again, but if it does, please go on the website and send Mr. Shade an email outlining the day and time of day, because that needs to be addressed with staff. That is not how it is supposed to work. Of course, I know in our country there's a lot of things that aren't supposed to work that way, anyway. So, but let us know so that we can backtrack and find out who is asking for it, and in similar fashion, who's not asking for it. There have been issues in the past. 20 years ago, before we even started asking for photo IDs, I came through in a friend's van at 10:30 at night. The friend said golf course, and we were waved in. So, we're not perfect. We try to get there, but we're not there. So, but yeah, please do send an email to Bob so he can get it to me so we can backtrack and find out who it is. And that sounds more of a training thing than anything. Okay. Again, the presidents know this. I'll reiterate it to you as residents and to those that are online with us tonight. That gate is not security. Okay? We are not there to police driver's licenses. We're not there to police someone running a stop sign on Greenfield. That's not our job. We are there to manage the inflow and outflow of traffic at that gate. A few years ago, I was informed that at that time, that's been over 5 years ago, that gate accounted for over 2,500 vehicles a day coming in that gate. So it's a lot of activity up there. That's all I've got.
Next slide, please, Savannah. Oops, keep going.
There it is.
Road and drainage, Mr. Shira.
Thank you, Robert. Adjust the camera. I'm shorter. Adjust the camera. Or get me something to stand on. All right. First thing, let's go over a couple of drainage things. Just at the time of our last meeting, we had gotten the new outflow pumps that are on hole number 15 and service the east side of the boulevard. They were put into operation. There hadn't been too much call to use them. It all seems to be working fine. And I know that Steve's Community will let us know if they see anything we need to adjust there. I do know that we're going to have to add 2 items to this. And I'm going to need, probably going to need a motion to approve this. Number 1, we need to put a security cover over the electric panel. That's to protect the, there's some things there that need to be protected from golf balls. Amazing that golf balls would go over there. That can be corrected if they'll see the head professional here, but they don't need to be going there. Second thing is we need to install run timers, 2 of them, 1 for each pump, so that we can identify that those pumps are doing what they're supposed to, and that is they're to switch back and forth between each time of need to run the other pump first. It also gives us a note of hours that each pump has been running, and those need to be protected by that panel. We've got quotes from our electric company and our pump servicing crew for $2,700. Is that right, Mark? Yeah, and so we're going to need $2,700 to those for those 2 things, and I'll need a motion.
Mr. Shire is asking a motion for the road and drainage of $2,700 for these items. Does anybody want to make such a motion? Mr. Klutner?
Well, I want to make a comment first,
Okay.
We found out that we need the security panels there because we located the pumps. If you notice, those who are golfers, there's a whole line of very large cypress trees which we thought would act as a deflection when people tee off from behind the pond on that hole. Well, it turns out that the contractors were out there and they told us that's not the case. They've had balls bounce on the concrete, bounce off the panel, come through cypress trees while they're out there working. So we found that out later, and that is what is necessitating the security panels, because we don't want anything damaged out there, either the flow control or the electrical panel itself. So.
Mark?
Yes.
It's a cover to protect the balls, and then included in the 2,700. Is that a lead lag controller?
Pardon me? Is that?
No, it's the,
No, we already have lead and lag set up in there.
that's all.
Okay, that's already set up.
It's for the cover and the counter and the number of hours for
They
each
lead
machine,
lag
each
and they
pump, correct?
alternate. Each time, this one comes on this time, this one comes on the next time, they go back and forth, okay? If the first one can't keep up with it, the second one will come on.
Thank you.
I'll make that motion.
Yeah, Mr. Dodd, hold on a second, just had a question.
I just wanna make sure, is it fair to assume that this $2,700 would come out of general reserve since we have fundamentally exhausted the drainage reserve?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this money will come out of general reserve.
Thank you.
Ms.
I'll
Dr.
make the
Palmer's made
motion.
such a motion, is there a second? Mr. Murphy was up first. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Now let's talk about roads. You may have noticed we've been doing some paving. And so have a number of our local neighborhoods. Enclaves has been completely paved and that project is complete. Garden Patio has been paved and that project is complete. Clubhouse Road is done. And the 4-way north to Dundee Road is complete. Now, we have one part of all that left to do, and that is the striping. We'll be putting the permanent paint stripes down. They're supposed to be in today, but it's too wet this morning. Well, hopefully they'll be in tomorrow. You'll notice that we're going to have fresh paint on dark pavement. It makes all those things easier to see. We're moving the side lane, which is a walking bike lane and whatnot, that is being widened by 1 foot to 4 feet, so it fully accommodates golf carts. So they'll be inside that white lane. Then in addition to that, we're going to be adding side stripes beginning at the end of the boulevarding section, which is just past Palmacia Boulevard across from the Enclaves. We're doing the outside of those lanes and going all the way back to the entry where the end of the paving is at the entry sign to Oak Grove. That's being done because we've received numerous comments from residents of both Cypress Pond and Oak Grove that they have trouble at night when it's dark seeing the edges of those roads. That is not to enhance walking or anything. Those are simply the typical neighborhood residential style road. There's not enough room there for walking paths and things like that. So when the striper gets in, that part will be done. Villas in the Green also has been done with the exception of Pelham, which is over here by the tennis courts. Villas in the Green, there is some follow-up work that's going to be done in November. They discovered that there's some base there that needs to be improved, and the decision has been made to go forward and improve that, so the contractor will be coming back in to do that. At that point in time, we'll have done about $440,000 worth of paving. Of that, $209,000 comes out of the road reserve, which is fully funded and is in good shape. Our next paving opportunity, and I say this for all you presidents that are here, and I'm one of them, is going to be in just about 3 years. What I want everybody to realize, when we get together with our neighborhoods and the Master Association, we get a number of benefits out of that, but the one that will be most important to everybody here is the cost savings. We really get some good rates for our paving when you've got that much paving being done at one time. In addition to that, you've got the contractor here for an extended amount of time, so if there's any follow-up work necessary, they're right here to take care of it. So, and they also took this opportunity to do some work in Tom's area back in Fairway Patio from when they were in here in the past. So so they're going to be back in November. So that's where we are on the current paving. I have a request.
Next slide.
Thank you. I'd forgotten we'd done this. We have we have an area back on Plantation Road where the restrooms are located between hole number 7 and hole number 8.
The restrooms are right here.
And they're off over where Bob is. Those have been used since day one in this community by all workforces and by people who use the golf courses. All of our local contractors use that as the community bathroom. I think that what's happened is this area right here, which we filled in with some greens material after we taken it out, it's a mud pit in there. It's terrible. It shouldn't be that way. We want to put a paved area there so that it doesn't look like a field. And also so that that's better for the contractors. To put that paved area in there, we really have to elevate that area to match the roadway. And it's going to take 6 inches of fill and 1.5 inches of paving. We'll do it with an angle coming in and an angle coming off and 30 full feet of parking, so it will accommodate the typical truck and trailer accommodation. We have a quote from our contractor who is going to be back in here to do work on Villas of the Green, and some of the material from Villas of the Green is going to help us do this. So this is a real make sense project from a cost standpoint. So our quote for the total is $7,700. We'll use $8,000 as the guideline, as the limit that we should go forward to spend. I don't think we're going to need any signs. I don't think we're going to need any paving, but striping, but you never know what's going to come up. So what I would like is I need this would be funded by. Yeah, Mark has, yes.
Yeah, just one comment. The way they'll park there is they won't pull in at an angle. They'll park parallel to the road. So they just veer off the way they park now. It's not a parking area with curb stops or any of that.
You know, the funding source for this, Tom?
Will there be some type of sign saying, here's what this is for, so people just won't go and park there?
Well, now we need a sign. I think, I guess we probably simply put a sign there and just say restroom parking only, please. That probably would be it. I don't know what else. I don't know how else anybody would use it for parking, but maybe some of the folks that fish. The 2 ponds that are up there, by the way, are the only 2 legit places folks can go to fish in here. So, you know, that's a pretty good suggestion. I think that yes, sir.
I live in Cypress Pond.
Yeah.
And the parking on the rest of that road for fisher people that are fishing, is there any place we could extend this a little bit further down? So,
You know, down here, Mike?
Yeah, the only reason I bring it up is this. It's not that they're doing anything wrong, but we've got kids on golf carts, mothers with infants on golf carts, and they're pulling off, and they get that bounce off the edge of the road, and I worry about somebody going into the pond. It seems to me like it's so simple. Maybe it just. Is there a way to solve it?
I think then I'm going to pull back the request for a motion. I think we're going to have to go back and do a little bit of engineering on it.
There's not a lot of people fishing in there.
I understand though, but
it's kids.
Yeah, the grass. The golf carts and the grass seem to get along pretty well. That part's not an issue. It's when you've got other vehicles that are pulled in there for some reason. Now I don't know that we've had that situation.
We've had vehicles parked there.
But that is a no parking area.
They're not supposed to, but they do.
Right. It just has to be. Why encourage it?
We can email those.
What do you think, Mark?
Well, I think we ought to approve what we've already asked for tonight, so we
Okay.
can notify them and they can schedule.
And then
it
we
in
get that
November when they
scheduled.
come back, because that's a little bit more involved. I mean, they have to come in and mark it out, then they gotta dig it out, then they
Right.
gotta put the base material in and
Right.
compact it, and then come back and pave it, so.
I think.
We ought to let them know about that, if we're gonna
I
look at
think,
additional parking.
I think we're gonna, I'm gonna modify what I'm gonna ask you to request. I think we're gonna need $8,500 because we're gonna need to get a sign done. I want it done with the type of signage that we use throughout the community, so that it matches everything else that we do. And up to 8,500.
Road Drainage making requests for the parking area up to $8,500 in that area. Do we have a motion for approval? Mr. Mike Pazuski has made that good. Rick McCullough has seconded that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
One last thing I want to let you know. Let's talk about the road reserve for a minute. In 3 years, we're going to be going back out to do some paving. Steve, I think your neighborhood might be up. I know mine's going to be up, and I think there's and Rick's plantation. I'll tell you what, between the two of you, that's a lot of paving. And club patio. And Palmacia. So there's 5 neighborhoods. The road reserve fund. Let me step back for a moment.
What's the community association part in that?
I'm gonna address that here. The road reserve, the cost of road repaving took a big hit about 2 years ago. Our road reserve was funded short when that increase hit. The same thing has happened to price of lumber. It's that kind of a thing. What we did 2 years ago, or a year ago, when we found that, was we increased the amount that we put into the savings for roads. And then this year, when we saw how this came in, we reduced it a little bit this year. So we're constantly doing that to have this road fund be in a condition that can handle the needs that we have in the community for the community association. When we have the benefit of getting neighborhoods together with us to do that, it brings that cost down and substantially. Our road reserve at the end of this year would have looked like $318,000. The road reserve after everything that we're going to be doing is going to look like $104,000. But over the next 3 years, we will accumulate in our road reserve enough money to meet the needs of what we're going to have to do for the community association, not addressing each of the individual neighborhoods, but we're going to be able to address what we need based upon today pricing, so that we're going to be able to fund our needs there. So I want to let you know that as we're going through this, that's the way the road reserve works. Currently, our annual assessment for the road reserve is $44,000 a year, I believe. For in this recently approved budget for next year. And that is going to get us there. And as we do that, we keep looking ahead at what we believe it's going to be, and that's how we establish that road reserve. Are there any questions? Yes, sir.
I have a question. This might be for Terry and Jason here, but on my street, Pinehurst, where they cut the 2 big oaks down because it was buckling the road up and we were supposed to have it paved. I think we ran up a little bit short, if I'm right, Terry?
That is correct.
Am I gonna have to wait 3 years?
No, we were kind of looking at it 1 year out, weren't we, Jason?
Yes. So we gotta wait another year after we took the tree and just pulled the roots back and my road's buckling up?
And the reality of it is, we didn't have the money.
We're gonna address that in our
Okay,
budget.
that's what I figured. I wanna be sure if that's the spatial assessment.
It's a fair question, Jerry.
We can't wait 3 years.
Fair question.
We have to get it done.
Yeah, okay, all right. We'll handle it on our side then.
Yep.
John?
Bill, do we save money, by the type of material that's used in, let us use an example, a couple of the villages that were done ahead of the boulevard being done, being that the boulevard has sort of I would say a black tint, if we want to use the word tint, and the villages have a brown tint, and you can see more stone through the surface that's done in the villages than you do on the boulevard, and I'm wondering, is that because we save money by getting a lesser?
It's all the same mix.
It's all the same mix. I don't know, I
These
do not
residential
see.
roads and the residential roads, it's all the same mix, and they use the same thing on the boulevard and everything else, because what you're trying to accomplish, the size of the stone is really predicated on the ride quality. If you're on an interstate, you use a much larger stone because of the wear factor, but we use what is considered a residential mix, and we use recycled because the recycled is what everyone uses now because of the cost factor. But it was the same everywhere.
Well, it turned out different, that it may be the same, but it turned out different color.
I'll look at
I
that,
can
but
show
I
you the
didn't really notice
photographs
that.
I've taken.
I'd rather look at right at the streets. I've driven every single road we've repaved. They're all look the same to me, John.
There is a difference in color.
There is. Well, and that's a difference.
I gotta agree with you, there is a difference in color, I ain't gonna make a difference in the.
And that's just gonna be, that's the oil
We're
mix.
the only two that see it, two of us.
I noticed it, I was.
Me too, right away I noticed it.
All right, thank you. Yes. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is, I'm sorry. Rick, for traffic control, because in resurfacing, we had, naturally we go through all the surfaces. We dug up Rick's device that allows us to trip the entry. He had to have Heartline come back in and do that after we did it. That should not be paid by his committee. It's a road item, and that bill can come to us, and it should come out of the road reserve. That shouldn't be any more than $1,500, I would imagine, I hope. And also, let's see. I think that's the only thing that's the only thing I found that's unusual.
And when that comes, we'll send it out via email for approval. Next slide, please, Amanda. The Amenities Committee, Martha?
Okay, you want to put the slide up? This is what we have spent this year. Point out a couple of things. Our debt service, $182,848.80. The next four items are all part of our operational support. When I ask for that, these are things that are all included. Repair and maintenance, that's $68,689.05. Agronomics, so far to date, $50,401.44. Utilities, $64,923.26. And insurance, $30,530.41. Now we have a couple of things we've had to repair and fix. This is year to date. Maintenance, the maintenance barn roof. Some of you presidents went out, so you know what we're talking about. You went out and saw that. It was $5,189.02. 35,000, I'm sorry. Pool service and supplies, $10,287.58. Cart path improvements, $14,430. Then we have kind of a catch-all of one other small item, amenity improvements of $745, and our community advertising to date is $10,200. I do want to make a comment to presidents. As Bill said, the Enclave just completed its paving project. This was our first repave. Some of you have had 2 or 3 already. We took some quotes at the beginning of the year because we knew it was going to come in. And when I got with Bill and tagged along with him, we saved $8,250 just by tagging along and going in with other HOAs. So I really recommend that you look at that.
Next slide.
Okay, next slide.
Martha, could I pause you for just
Sure.
a second? The numbers that you just recited, or you're saying that's year-to-date numbers? But that's not true of debt service.
This is the total for the debt service.
That's the total for the debt service.
For the year?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And then these are individual items that have been approved by the board prior to this meeting. And then this is the monthly ask that's made.
Okay, so my point is, one number includes a year's worth of numbers. Some of the other numbers include less than a year's worth of numbers.
Yes, correct.
True. This is as of the 31st.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, next slide. The 2021 budget for the amenities committee was $502,000. That's what we put in for 2022. Thus far, as of August 18th, at the last meeting, the board approved $444,799 on items spent in categories. Yes, Bill?
And does that include the entire debt service?
Yes.
Yes. The unallocated funds to date, as of the last meeting, are $6,206. I can't read tonight. $61,240. And the ask for tonight, this is part of our budget. It's nothing new. It's part of the budget that was previously approved for the September operational support request. For tonight, it's $23,500. And as you can see, that's less than our unallocated funds to date.
Okay, we need a motion to approve the amenities committee support request, please. Mr. Shire has made such a motion. Is there a second? Ms. Goodrich, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next slide, please. Oh, we happen to win an award recently. This is my area. We're going to talk about rounds of golf. There will be at the end of, in the next meeting, the October meeting, board members, you know that we have a subcommittee of the TAC group that has been working feverishly on a simplified reporting concept that we're going to be able to share with you as well as with our residents through the website, and that you'll be able to email out. They will report all that at the next meeting. Gentlemen, is that correct? Yes, thank you. They're shaking their heads, so for the record, that is a yes. We will do that. So this is a 3-year comparison to some stats that we're going to go through. As you can see through, this was through August 31st, 2021, 26,506 rounds of golf. I don't really count 2020 because we were closed for part of it, and 2019 was 23,335. So rounds of golf are up. That's a direct correlation of your investment or of your relation of your investments. Thank you. I can't talk either. Next slide, please. This is a golf course condition report. It's a report that the golf course committee is going to do on an occasional basis. Charlie was not able to be here. Charlie Reynolds is the golf course chairman currently, and this is his report that I am reading. We broke the greens down. 8 greens are in good shape after irrigation. 6 greens are improving and should be good in a week or so. And 4 greens are lagging behind. Some sod patch work has begun on hole 16, and more of it will be done next week once we get the sod in. The sod fields were too wet to pull the sod from. The greens are fertilized weekly. The greens are herbicided every month, and the greens are top dressed every 3 to 5 weeks to meet the United States Golf Association specs for Tiff Eagle Green, which is the kind of grass that we have. The tees, out of the 90 tee stations, 6 out of them are lagging behind but are improving and may require additional resources to get to golf course standards before overseeding in early November. We will have that request they will have that request at the October meeting, excuse me. Green surrounds. The green surrounds have been and will continue to be aggressively maintained with herbicides and fertilizers on a bi-weekly schedule. Next slide, please.
Wow, can I stop you there?
Sure.
First of all, Charlie Reynolds went out and did it. He doesn't even live there. He has no idea what he's talking about.
He's a golf member.
Yeah, he's a golfer. Okay. The second thing is, anybody who comes out there and drives this course right now, even the high school kids are saying this course is half unplayable. The high school rule at this golf course right now, if the ball goes in the rough, you don't even get charged a stroke. Whoever came up with that has no idea what they're talking about at all.
Next slide, please. Thank you. Next slide, please. Oh, you did. You got it. You're there. Fairways overseeding in place on Monday, November 8th. There'll be a full fairway fertilizer application in early October. And we'll continue to full broadcast spray herbicides until mid-October, where we have to stop to get ready for the overseeding. Roughs will continue to mow from the fairway edge out. Grass should begin to slow down as the cold front comes through and daylight hours are reduced, which supposedly we're supposed to get a cold front next week. That would be nice. Yeah. The plan for the rough is to be caught up by the end of November. And golf course report. Did you know we maintain 140 acres inside the Cypresswood community? Of that, 80 acres is golf course playable areas. So 60 of the areas are outside normal golf course playable areas. We currently have no golf course mechanic. These are some of our challenges the committee is dealing with. We currently have a golf course maintenance staff of 9, including a certified golf course superintendent. So they're working on their formatting to try to bring more information to you and the residents, and that's kind of where they're going. If you have any suggestions on the formatting, please email them to me and I'll relay them to them. Any questions from board members? Board members, no? Yes, Mrs. Howes?
I have a quick question. What time do the superintendent and the rest of the maintenance staff start in the mornings?
What time do they start work?
Yes.
They're out on the golf course, generally speaking, by 6. They get here at 5:30.
So what time would they normally go on a break?
It depends on which personnel they're talking. The greens mowers do after they mow the greens, and then the other guys get one. It's lunches at 11:30, I believe.
Okay. Just the reason why I'm asking is this morning I went and took my dog out for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
One of the people that was supposedly cutting the grass was sitting on the corner of Sandhill Lane, and where Pharmacia goes. I was heading towards Pharmacia. They were on their phone. I walked around Pharmacia twice and came back, and he's still sitting there on his phone.
That's good to know. Do you happen to know what piece of equipment it was? Any idea?
He was cutting the grass.
Okay. We'll try to find. Thank you. That's a good comment. Okay, next slide, please. Any new business to be brought by a board member to the group? Okie dokie. Next. Vote. What? Do you have one?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I didn't. Sorry.
I just want to say on behalf of of all of us, we are very sorry for Monique's loss. And it has been a punch in the gut, and we appreciate you being here, and she is already sorely missed.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for that. Next slide. Oh, there it is again. Sorry, next slide. All right, if there's no more business, I entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr. Murphy has done so. We are adjourned. See you next month.